And so we begin part two of just how tainted are you. When we last left, Callie had just asked Lammy if at this point he knew what she was.
Limey watches this kind of hippie, kind of New Earth looking chick puffing away on this spliff, and kind of glances her up and down before looking back out into the street. Well, big question. I don't know the ins and outs of anything, but you're one of the Central Park mob, right?
She doesn't say anything, but perhaps silence is telling there.
Yeah, I thought as much. Not to draw too fine a point on it, but it's hard to imagine you bursting into a killing machine.
She'll raise a brow and just turn her head slightly and look at him. I can show you if you like.
While I appreciate the offer, I don't want to see your beast any more than you want to see mine, you dig?
I have no idea what that means, but okay, sure.
Bad for one's health. I mean, I've never really seen a werewolf firsthand, not in not as a wolf as such, but you hear stories.
And what do the stories say?
Stories say that those who do see it, well, seldom come back to tell everyone what they saw, you dig?
At saying, you dig a second time, she quirks a brow. It's a very distinct lingo you have there.
Jive speak. A little more popular in the States than it was in England, and frankly, I don't know. Back in the 50s, we were all just trying to be black.
She is going to... Just let me see if this costs anything. I don't think it does. Yeah. She's going to use Sense Worm on him again, just to see if anything's changed. I think I know the answer to that, but all the same, here goes. She fails! She can't smell anything. So, she actually... She kind of leans towards Lammy and just takes a sniff at him.
Fuck.
And she sort of grimaces a bit. That's different.
Thing is, you didn't botch, so what does that mean? Because botching would be like, oh, he smells fine.
Yeah, maybe it's the weed, maybe it's the city, or maybe there's just too much worm taint in this area for her to really
get
a read on him. But she, takes a few, and then sits back in her swing, no more normal-like.
You sure you can handle your shit? Or do you usually go around smelling people?
She looks at Limey with a very matter-of-fact look on her face. Would you expect anything less from someone of my ilk?
Well, when you put it like that. Kind of gazes out again and then, fuck it. He sort of very, very deftly takes the spliff from between your fingers, being very careful not to burn himself.
Alright. Let's roll. I'll roll my 8 dice versus your 9 dice. Trying to snatch something away from a Garu. You're crazy. She only gets 2 successes. So let's see what Limey gets.
Probably botch.
Yeah, right. Dice gods have not been kind to me today.
They're never kind to me.
Well, they're kind to you today. You definitely beat her by 1 at least.
Cool. He sort of, just very quickly, his hand flicks out and suddenly it's back again. As, he kind of pulls it to his mouth and you notice he has a very distinct drag. He pulls very, very hard and he breathes deep and sort of comes through his teeth. It's quite a harsh sound. It's quite a harsh action.
She gives you a look of just pure, this motherfucker here. She'll stand up fairly suddenly in the from the swing and just look at Limey, trying to work it out on her face. At least working him out a little bit more.
Hey, listen, kid, don't take it too hard. I've been blagging joints for a long old time.
So tell me something, Mr. Limey. Why is it I get a certain sense of wrongness about you?
Did you say oddness?
Wrong. W-R-O-N-G.
Wrongness. I don't know. Seeing as apparently you can sniff the bad blood on people, I don't really know why you're getting that. Tell me, what does it usually mean?
Means people who, or things even, that do horrible, horrible acts of cruelty and violence, violation, murder, torture.
Okay.
Anything that contributes to the piss-poor state this world's in all honesty. More so than the average Joe just simply being complacent or apathetic.
Listen here. Callie. I could point. In fact, I'd need extra hands to be able to count and point you in the direction of scores of mortals who do worse things than me. All except one.
Well, I can tell you, you seem pretty bad to me, and I want to know what it is that you've done, so I can decide whether or not this ends peacefully or otherwise.
Kind of glances sidelong at her. Well, from what I understand, you're gonna kill me. There's fuck all I can do about it.
It's not necessarily true. I like to be sporting.
He pulls out a hip flask, and I'd burn a point of willpower to let him keep it down. What have I done? I've broken into houses, sold drugs, bought drugs, taken drugs, fought people, killed people. Never out of choice, generally.
How many innocents?
depends on your concept of innocence.
Let's say undeserving of death.
Now you're breaking into philosophy, and I was never that kind of beatnik. But undoubtedly, sometimes it's been me or them, and I'm not sure everyone I killed just because they were going to kill me deserved it.
Do you regret it?
Do I regret it? How old are you again? Genuinely, how long you been alive?
I've only been on this world a short time, but the shit I've seen definitely makes me vastly older in many regards.
Right, fair enough. I wonder how old that makes me. Because I've got to play the humanity. People die. It's what they do. We don't want it to happen. Never walked into a room and said, I want that person to die. Well, other than the odd few circumstances, but I think we've all wanted someone to die once or twice, if we're being honest.
Yeah, if we're being honest, no, let's just not go there for right now. I just want to know if you regret the things that you've had to do, let's say, to those that didn't necessarily deserve it.
It's just of course I regret it.
I'm gonna
You think I want to
roll.
go around icing people? You think that's what I'm about? But at the end of the day, business is business, and sometimes business is dirty.
With 3 successes on a perception empathy roll, unless he's trying to hide it.
Or is he telling the truth?
Generally, she's looking for more like genuine looks of regret, let's say. She's looking for mannerisms, the typical expressions of somebody who looks like they've done things they didn't want to and it has weighed down on them.
Can you give me a charisma subterfuge? Because this guy's always playing. And that is
Alright.
seven dice.
I hope you don't beat her out. You beat her out by a lot. 5 successes.
His eyes take on a tense motion. They wrinkle at the corners, and these bored eyes fill with a glisten of emotion. His mouth turns down at the corners, and his hands kind of wave diplomatically and openly as he talks. This person is being honest and very sincere, and he does seem to have regret for the things he's done.
Callie looks like she sort of leans back a bit, maybe coming off of her the balls of her feet, looking ready to strike, as it were. She seems to relax a bit, and maybe even looks somewhat conflicted now as she starts to pace back and forth. Very slowly, it's not like manic or anything, but she's going back and forth and she's just thinking, and every now and then she looks at Limey as she does it, as she goes back and forth.
Listen, kid, you're talking about the things you've seen. I've been alive for a very long time, and for most of that time, I've been some form of career criminal. What is this? Judge, jury, and executioner. It's your right, is it? Turn around.
It's what I
You
was put.
jive me.
It's what I was put here for. She seems to be more frustrated than anything right now, as she's seems like she's trying to amp herself up at the moment. If you want to roll a perception empathy,
Yep, 6 dice.
you can't really tell that though, because you fail.
Mm. Yeah, man.
So she just kind of seems to be calmly walking back and forth, I guess. Or at least just walking back and forth without any real emotion to it.
Limey seems to, like, he kind of glances you up and down and he can't seem to get a bead as he kind of glances at you again and shakes his head and throws the reefer away and lights up a cigarette as he slowly gets to his feet.
Kelly's gonna look at him and shoot him a look as he starts to rise up. And you can tell that she wants you to sit back down.
Sporting, was it? Well, right now I can't get a bead on you. If you're going to make a sprint, I at least want to be on my feet for it, you dig?
You'll know if I'm coming at you, trust me. I don't strike people in the back.
Hero. Can I give you some advice that's comes from a place of a relatively long career?
Go for it.
Heroes die quick.
She actually starts to laugh at that with a certain genuine mirth. You think any of my kind are long-lived? Most of us die before we reach the age of 30.
Let me ask you this. Do they usually die fighting amongst themselves? Or do they die fighting us?
Your lot, from everything I've heard, are sort of loose ends and inconsequential annoyances from time to time. Every now and then I've heard an old one of your number makes a serious problem, but I've never seen it. Shit that we deal with, on the regular at least, makes you look like tissue paper, in all honesty. And I'm not saying that to simply beat my chest, I'm just telling you how it is.
That's groovy. The kindred who live long with. Oh, fuck.
Just gonna look up at him. Is that what you call yourselves?
Two seconds, mate. Sorry. Is that what you call yourselves? He kind of glances up. Yeah. Sometimes. Depends on who you're talking to. But as I was saying, kindred who live a long time, the ones who don't, let's just say don't put themselves toe to toe with werewolves, you dig?
To be fair, I've only ever heard of one actually encounter anyone I actually know.
What, one of my kind fighting one of your kind, or vice versa?
I think it was an incidental meeting from everything I was told. One of mine ran upon one of yours that was eating, I guess.
And how'd that go?
Not well.
How many parties walked away?
2.
Groovy.
She very casually says, out of 3.
Two of yours and one of mine, or the other way around?
The victim and their protector.
Fair enough.
You see, I had decided about 2 weeks ago that I was going to end you. And I was going to make you burn. I was going to make you suffer. And simply because that air of wrongness about you, it's similar to the stuff that we face down on a regular basis. And she sort of like becomes very cold looking, and her stare becomes very long, almost as somebody with a bit of PTSD reliving a moment. I saw things that our enemies did to people, innocent people. And I decided that I was going to make it every single thing on the planet that was related to them in any way, shape, or form, even associated, suffer as much as the people that they hurt suffered.
Noble. And out of interest, why does that mean you've got to, how you say, whack me?
It's complicated. There's something
I'm
about you.
cleverer than I look.
There's something about you, Lammy, that's maybe it's what you've done, but you've fallen into a dark place as far as we're concerned, and we can sense it on you.
By sniffing the air. I can dig it. Look, I know what you think about us, but it ain't exactly so black and white for us either. You know, we're not these blood-soaked demons of the night. We're mostly just people trying to be people. You dig?
People trying to be people that feed on others.
It ain't
I
much
mean, that
just
is how it
cheap.
is, right? You guys drink the blood of mortals. It's how it is in the TV and in the comics and in the books.
Hey, look, we didn't choose this. Most of us just had it kind of thrust upon us.
Then why go on? Why not just end it if you didn't want it? And she says that so matter of fact that she probably comes off more simple than she means to.
Okay. Right. So, just because you, by some predetermined fate, gotta do what you gotta do, does that mean you want to do it? Do you wake up every morning and say, wow, man, I'm so happy to have this purpose in life? Does it make you happy?
When I'm serving it, certainly it does. But when I'm thrown right up against the horrible truth of our existence, not so much.
Then why not just end it? He
Because we
turns
have a
to you.
job to do. She says that also very matter-of-factly.
Oh, well. If only we all had your divine sense of existential purpose.
Don't make it sound so Abrahamic, she says, shaking her head.
Ain't it?
You know, not everybody on this planet's Christian, you know.
No. No, they ain't. But you ask me why I don't just end it. Frankly, I know for a fact ain't nothing good waiting for me after this. And that wasn't my choice.
You know, I could end it for you, and she takes a step towards him.
Fuck off. No thanks.
No, I'm serious. It could make it all stop. I could see that certain rites were performed on you that might give you a chance to see whatever waits for you on the other side. That's good.
I have it on very good faith of exactly what's waiting for me on the other side. Better than any of your lot could give me.
And what is it waiting for you on the other side? Hell?
I don't think life's that black and white.
She lets out a heavy sigh as she just kind of takes a few steps away from him. I was so sure about this just a few days ago.
What happened?
She turns around. She actually has a very genuine smile on her face. I found hope.
Well, for what it's worth, good for you.
Just gonna roll perception empathy on that. One, two, three, four. Four successes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna roll against it.
Right?
It's
Six
genuine.
or oh, so you're not rolling against it.
No, it's genuine. No, it's like it's quite not begrudging, but it's like quite throwaway. But he means it. It's like, yeah, good for you. And then he sort of smiles and says, good for me too, I guess.
It's much easier to look at you as something that is just gonna end up hurting people, but I don't know anymore. Things aren't always as black and white as they seem, I guess.
Do you know what they call me? I don't know. I know Elena went to speak to you guys once or twice.
Who's Elena?
He looks down, and you don't need to roll a perception empathy to see that he's really sad.
Oh. She says, oh.
My friend. She was a warden. Meant she liaised with you and yours and them and theirs and anybody else who hides in this fucked up city. Let's just say that of all of the, what do they call them? Vampires in this city, I'm the motherfucker who deals with the really bad ones.
So then it's on you to be judge, jury, and executioner for your own kind.
The executioner, the jury sometimes.
Ominous. He says as a bolt of lightning goes on outside of his room.
I heard that. That was cool.
Yeah.
And that was so well timed.
Callie will look to the sky and then look back at Limey. I didn't know it was going to rain. It's creepy.
There's worse than me out there. I don't care what you smell. The people I've killed, I killed because I had to.
Then why? If you had to, why are you coming off so wrong to me? The one thing I'm sure of is that when I get that air on somebody, I know that they've done something.
Because even if you have to, it still leaves its mark, I suppose. I look at you and I know you've killed. And it's left its mark.
She narrows her eyes slightly. The only things I've ever put to death were things that, trust me, deserved it without mercy, with no remorse. She finally seems to have a self-realization to herself as she just kind of scoffs. Maybe that's why I'm having such a hard time gearing myself up to do anything about you. It does seem like there is something to you that's remotely human.
He chuckles. And then looks up at you and raises an eyebrow. Thanks.
She just lets out a really long sigh. She kind of just rubs the sides of her face and her cheeks. I never used to be this indecisive. I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew exactly what I had to do, and now everything's turned upside down. There's a part of me that's just screaming me out that I should just go ballistic and tear you apart right here, right now. trust me, it's definitely crossing my mind. But at the same time, there's more to it than that. I just honestly don't know what to do now.
Well, don't look at me, kid. I think this is something you got to work out on your own.
Yeah, I guess so. She takes a few steps away from Limey. I guess conscience is a bitch. At the same time, it looks like it's definitely saved you and me both a lot of trouble.
I'd say so, yeah.
For what it's worth, Limey, if you can, do something to rid yourself of whatever it is hanging over your shoulders. If I can sense you, others can. And most of them are probably not, are pretty sure of themselves and where they stand. They aren't having an existential crisis like me.
I'm sure you'll work it out.
As pleasant as this conversation has been, I hope we don't see each other again.
And while you seem pretty amiable, and you're certainly very pretty,
She
the
bows
feeling's
just a
mutual.
slight bit. Hit that.
He smirks. The feeling is in fact mutual.
And Kelly doesn't say anything after that. She just gives Limey a nod with more using her chin than anything else. Before putting her hands back in her pockets and walking back towards Midtown and towards the park.
Limey watches her go. As a large bolt of thunder illuminates the grey sky. And he smirks. And raises a brow, and the smirk falls off his face. And he sighs. And he begins to walk in the opposite direction.
And I think there we can call that a scene. Thank you for watching.